gratification or advantages of samadhi and the dangers. Because interestingly, that it's quite common, we may hear from modern teachers that samadhi have a danger. There is a danger in developing samadhi. So interesting. What we may find in Buddha's teaching about this. So firstly, maybe let us a little bit recap what modern scientists or modern psychiatrists practice speak about concentration, focused concentration and broad concentration. So especially when people have some disorder like depression or obsession with some idea, doctors never would suggest to focus on one object or on one idea, because it actually can be the cause of increase the problem. And interestingly, that in most of the cases, the focus on one idea, it is a problem of an obsession. So the person become depressed because he strongly thinks that I'm bad, and he cannot step out from this idea. He just totally absorbed with this idea. I'm bad, and nothing can change. Like I'm bad, like everything bad. So in some cases, this focused attention can be quite dangerous. And on the countryside, like maybe the last 100 years, the term mindfulness, like awareness to all six sense bases, it's not become anymore a Buddhist practice, because they take it and adapt it to almost any area, in military training, in schools, in some places, in here and there, kind of too, because it's proven by many people that it develops your mental health. In general, you become more healthy. Like any kind of problem what may arise, just by paying attention on it and paying attention a little bit broadly, can subside this problem and even kind of eradicate it. So, long story short, modern scientists doesn't say to us anything that disadvantages of a samadhi, of a proper mindful, proper stability of the mind based on kind of little bit open awareness practice, we may say. But focus practice may give some disadvantages, not to everyone, but with some people who have already preconditioned for some kind of problems. So we need to be more careful. And so, but what sutta speak about this? In Majjhima Nikaya we have Uddesavibhaṅga sutta. And interesting, this sutta, when Venerable Mahakachana explains some things, and it has a similar pattern, like Madhupindika Sutta maybe. So when the Buddha states something in brief, and then leave, for some reason, leave to his kuti, and then monks scratch their head, how to understand it, like we cannot understand what to do. And Mahakachana, he is a venerable who well known by this quality of explain in details what Buddha states in brief. So and the Buddha speak these things, and he say that for one who want to see clearly things as they are, for one who want to investigate the reality, his consciousness shouldn't be scattered around, so externally. So he shouldn't be disturbed by external things, and also his consciousness shouldn't stuck internally. So he shouldn't be attached to something internally or stuck internally. And the last things, by not grasping, he shouldn't be trembled, or he shouldn't shake. So these kind of three things: don't be scattered externally, don't be stuck internally, and also what is in the middle, don't be attached to it and don't be shake. So, and it's a statement in brief. Of course, monks would like to know the details. They come to Venerable Mahakachana, and he usually like to analyze it fully. So he like to speak about both sides. Like Buddha speak about don't be scattered externally. So he like to start, okay, what is be scattered externally, like opposite of this. And he says that when the monk or the person seeing the form with the eye, and then seeing the form, he deal with the sign of this material form. So, meaning to say, there are external forms, there are external sounds, and so on. But our mind deal with this mental representation. So I see the form, but actually I have any desire or dislike to this image of the form. Because sometimes, it's very often happens when we go somewhere, we kind of have a short look on something, but because of some condition, maybe my eyesight not so good, or any, like I'm in a rush or something like this, I may have an object in my mind different what is in reality. So I may think like this person, oh, he's lovely, he's very beautiful. But then next time, and then I create all the story about this person. Oh, it would be nice to have a marriage with him and blah, blah, blah. So, and then I come next time and see the person and I say, oh, like it's a different person. Yesterday was different person, but just condition was different. So, and usually almost always we deal with mental representation of external world. So the Buddha say the vijnana, or the mind of person, kind of follows this mental representation of the form, and then he sees some gratification or some pleasure from this form, and then he become little bit bound to it, then he become attached to it, and then he completely kind of don't have a choice. He just drawn by this attachment. So that's what means when consciousness or when the mind scattered outside. So, of course, opposite would be what we need, actually. Don't be scattered outside. Yeah? See the form with eyes, but don't kind of follow this image. Don't really attach to this image. So, and second part was don't be stuck inside. Don't be attached inside. And the Mahakachana say, well, what is to be attached inside? What is the opposite of this? And he say, when the person attain the first jhana, when the person attain the state free from unwholesome mental state, free from with joy and happiness, with piti and sukha, born from this separation, and with applied and sustained thought. So the definition of the first jhana. And the person sees this piti sukha, sees this joy and happiness, but he kind of follows this. And sutta use exactly the same verbs. He first become bound to it, then he become attached to it, and then he's stuck completely there. So interesting, yeah. This is instruction not for beginners, yeah. To understand this, you need to understand what is first jhana, yeah. What is this piti sukha born from seclusion? Otherwise, if too early you start to worry about this, it would be a big obstacle to attain this first jhana. Yeah? If person would be in fear, oh, I'm afraid of piti sukha, then he would never attain piti sukha, of course. So first person needs to be stuck there in a way. So he needs to attain that place, and he needs to become familiar to that attainment. He needs to become kind of very easy to go there in any conditions, good weather, bad weather, good health, bad health, just attain there in any condition. And then when he see that there is a danger to be attached to this piti sukha, this is the time for letting go of this. Because to go further to the second, third, and fourth stage, you need to let go of previous joy and happiness for more subtle. So actually, in the end, you win anyway. You not lose. But at the beginning, it may seem as you lose something. Because, in Russia, we have a saying better to have a small bird in your hand than a big bird in the sky. So something like this. So because we kind of, there is something in the future, but it's something uncertain. We kind of not sure, and it's somewhere far away. But better to have small but So it's the nature of our attachment. Buddha speak about this, about sensual pleasure. It's more dangerous. It's more kind of blameworthy. But about subtle pleasure, it's also on some level, on deep level, it's also need to be abandoned and need to be let go. So this kind of danger, we would say, from deep samadhi, they're quite it's not bad place where to stuck, So it's not something to be afraid of, but just good to keep in mind that something further than this, it exists, and in the right time we need to properly let go of all these things. And lastly, Mahakachana explained what is the last part. By what is internally, externally, and in the middle. How to not be stuck and how to not be shaken in the middle. So, and he starts from opposite, how to be shaken and how to be stuck in the middle. And he brings example of Asutava Putujana, so the person who never heard the Buddha's teaching, who never practiced any Dhamma, who common ordinary person who never hear about anything spiritual in a way. So, and he regard form as a self. Yeah. So first we start from form, and so he, in another word, he identify with the form. This body, it's my body, it's I. And then what's happening? This form change. It's natural. Yeah. Form change. We cannot avoid this. And by changing this form, his consciousness become kind of driven by that. He'd start to worry about this. Oh, my body's changed. What to do? I become old, like, or like under the eye, some black things, like here and there. So you start to worry because you identify this form is mine, this I. That's why you worry. And then this idea become obsession. So mind become obsessed. Oh, like form is changed. I need to do something. I have to find a solution. I have to find a like medicine, like some kind of treatment. And I mean, it's not bad to find a treatment, but without this obsession that this treatment can change my life, I would be ultimately happy forever if I would be healthy. Yeah? It's just impossible. So, in the same way, Buddha speaks about other 5 aggregates. Yeah? So, form, like feelings, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness, all these things, if we identify, if we take it as a self, then consciousness become like attached with the idea of change. Because even in second case, when person knows the Dhamma, he not identify, but the change of the form is happening for him. So this part the same. For unlearned person and learned person, this part cannot be changed. So the Buddha don't teach us to change the reality. Buddha teach us to change our attitude towards reality. So to be more like relaxed, more letting go, and to help really the idea of disidentification, to see the change, to see that it cannot give you complete satisfaction. It cannot be mine, it cannot be me. And mostly I cannot control these things. I cannot control the change of form, change of feelings, change of thought even. Sometimes you sit and some thoughts pop up into where it's come from. I didn't think about this, I didn't intend. So it just causes and conditions, and to kind of see it and accept it, we can be more happy. So I wish all of us to be more happy, to don't be stuck with sensual pleasure, and maybe to learn how to be stuck with mental pleasure from piti sukha, but also to learn how to let go and go further. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.